Started.
And we're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Hey, dream builders. So if you only knew what it took to get us here today, but we are here and we are awesome. And I'm super excited because dun, 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 again, we have the awesome, the amazing Logan, aka the lady with the hair. And Logan, like I told you guys before, I wanted to make sure that there's never an interruption in our ability to deliver Ask the Expert for you every single week. Oh yeah, I know that Whitfield. I was still live on the video. Yeah, somebody told me I'm a hot mess. Well, at least you get to see that how I am when y'all not looking. I'm the same way. So Logan is host and training. This is her third time doing it with us, and so I'm literally just gonna take a step back. We've got an awesome expert today, and I'm just gonna be in the background and I ask a few questions and make sure you guys are heard. But I'm gonna toss it over to Logan.
Hey, y'all. Hey, dream builders. Okay, so bear with me tonight. Again, my name is Logan. I am a host in training. So I am a part of the Unicorn Squad. Shout out to the Unicorn Squad if anyone's on. Normally, we're working behind the scenes on your behalf, but Tiffany needs a break, y'all. So bear with me. Tonight, we have a super, super, super special guest. We have Andrea Bogan here. And she is not only a dream catcher, she is also a dream builder. So she is one of us.
You saw me dabbing on him. I'm like, yes.
Yes. So y'all see how that works? Get yourself in the academy, develop yourself, be inspired by the academy, and boom, you might be an expert on Ask the Experts. Let me read Drea's bio. Andrea Bogan has a bachelor's in human services and a PhD in life. Yes. She has spent the last 30 years working as an advocate for foster youth in Riverside County, either in group homes or as a social worker, and now supervising a program for a foster family agency. She is the celebrated author of her self-help book, You 2.0, which was released in 2017, and she has some subsequent books in the works. Andrea has 3 sons, and she resides in sunny Southern Cali. Tonight, Andrea is going to be talking to us about forgiving yourself for past financial mistakes, which is a big topic. I know it seems like a financial mistake is kind of like the worst kind of shame. It just takes forever to get over it, to get through it. So hopefully we'll learn some techniques tonight to help us do just that. Andrea, I'm going to let you, if you want to further introduce yourself, feel free. But just want to let the audience know that we are going to be learning from an acronym, which is REACH. The acronym alone has me very excited. So, Andrea, go ahead and take it over. You can either start with the R, which is release it, or introduce yourself.
So can you hear me?
Yes.
We're good. So I don't, forgiveness is one of those things that you must learn how to forgive just in life in general. And so I really wanted to talk about, I don't know if I need to introduce myself anymore.
You're good.
That was a lot, but I wanted to talk about, first of all, the definition of forgiveness that I pulled off of Wikipedia. But it's the intentional voluntary process by which you undergo a change in feelings and attitude. Tiffany with my notes.
No, I want you to read that again because I think that that's really powerful.
So forgiveness is the intentional voluntary process by which you undergo a change in feelings and attitude about the offense, and you let go of negative emotions and resentment with an increased ability to wish the person well or wish the offender well. And so I think that without understanding or trying to figure out how to do forgiveness, you're going to have a hard time. It's going to be much longer. And so I talk about, I don't know. I don't want to be like blah blah blah, but I talk about forgiveness within the book a little bit further. But when I was talking about this session, I started thinking about access it. And I was thinking, Tiffany is always big about goals, setting goals and reaching financial goals. And so I thought about the acronym REACH. And so I'm going to give you 5 things to consider when forgiving yourself. So that's where the REACH is going to come from. The first one, R, talks about releasing or letting it go. And if we thought about the definition of letting go. Oh, and I'm big on visuals. So here's a bag of offenses.
Uh-oh.
As we go through life, I don't know if you can see this, but it's like a drawstring bag. And we go through life and we collect offenses. People get on our nerves regularly or offend us regularly. And we'll collect all those offenses. And without the process of forgiveness or forgiving those offenses, we'll just keep filling up this bag. And now whose bag is it? Mine. And whose offenses are in here? They're mine. And so these don't hurt the person who offended you. So
Andrea, I'm sorry to interrupt. We're getting some messages that they can't hear you. Maybe move up a little closer. Yeah, a lot of folks are saying, I can barely hear her. I can't hear.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. A little, but it is low. Is there a way? I don't know. Maybe we might not need the headphones. Can you take off the headphones and just use the mic?
Yeah, I'll unplug the headphones and you tell me if you can hear me.
Okay.
Okay.
Without the headphones, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
You can hear me?
We can hear you good.
Because I can't hear you.
Oh, really?
Let's see. Like super low. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Are you able to hear us? Okay.
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. We're back.
So are you hearing me better? Maybe are the people saying they can hear me?
Yes. Everyone is pleased. Much better.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Tell us about that bag.
So the bag that's what we do. We go through life and we people offend us and we get offended over different situations and we collect them like rocks and we put them in our bag. This bag around with offenses and and we think that the person that offended us. The bag is mine and I'm carrying it around. And so I use that analogy because we do the same thing about ourselves when it comes to mistakes. To forgive others for offending us, so the longest relationship that you're ever going to have is with yourself. Don't forgive you first and deal with your own stuff first, then how are you going to be able to process that for anybody else? Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So
I don't want to just. What'd you say?
I said absolutely. It starts with you. Starts with you.
So in the acronym REACH, the first one is let it go. Drop that bag. Empty that bag out and let it go. You can't do anything about money that you misplaced, money that you lost, money that you didn't invest wisely. You can't do anything about that. It's gone. And so what good does that do to hang on to it? How does that help you? And what you do when you're holding on to those things, to those mistakes, is you're really blocking your creativity where you want to go financially. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Is that resonating with you guys, dream builders? Because I know it's resonating with me. Tiffany said, preach. I love it. Your longest relationship is with yourself.
And how it resonates with me is that the bag, I think the visual of the bag is that literally that bag is with you. You know, that's what really hit me that you said that. I'm like, wow, because there are definitely some times where I'm like, I don't even talk to her. I don't even mess with her like that no more. Meanwhile, I'm carrying a bag. She out there free and arms swinging, right? Like, and so it's only you that's holding you back, not someone else who you have the slight against.
Yeah, because that's what unforgiveness does. It makes you hold on to it, and you think somehow that you're magically affecting the person that offended you, and you are not. Meanwhile, they're, like you said, they're going on about their day, but this, and mind you, this bag just gets heavier and heavier. It just gets more and more stuff in it, and they're different sizes, little offenses, big offenses, whatever it is, and you're not hurting them. It's hurting you, and it's weighing you down. And it doesn't just hinder that one situation. Unfortunately, this bag, because it's mine and it goes with me everywhere I go, that means that it affects any relationship, every other relationship, because now I'm carrying this thing around.
Remember,
so it's not like you, I'm sorry.
No, I said, remember Erica Badu said, bag lady, you know, it's with you all the time. You got that bag and you can't let it go.
Yeah. And so it doesn't go anywhere. If you don't get rid of it, it's going to be right there, and you're just going to keep adding to it. So, so like I said, the R is for release it, let it go, forgive yourself.
You're getting a lot of feedback.
And if you have to have a vision, what'd you say?
No, I said you have a lot of feedback. People are saying, "Oh my God, yes, the bag can get so heavy. Why carry it?"
Yeah, and we do it every day. So that's why I brought the bag, because sometimes it's good to have a visual. So if you have a visual of these are the fences that you're collecting, then you can also have the same visual about down, putting those offenses down. If I take that bag outside and I empty all the contents out into a trash, I'm not going to keep walking back over to the trash to collect these offenses. Go. And I'm moving on. There's nothing I can do about anything that happened yesterday, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. There's nothing. But let it go.
Love it.
Be free.
Love it. Danielle Sacco. Yeah, it makes sense. Danielle Sacco says, I grew up feeling that if I don't make the correct choices, I'm responsible for my whole family. So it's just that sense of shame and just feeling like, you know, the whole weight of the world is on your shoulders.
And that's true. And that's true. And that's very real. That's a very real feeling, and a very real maybe that's been put on you. But who put that weight on you? And people can give you weight, but do you have to accept it? Do you have to receive everything that's handed to you? You don't.
Hello.
You don't. And until you learn that real good, you're going to keep walking around with these things to carry.
Love it.
To be free. To be free, that is. So the next one talks about empathizing. So in the acronym, the E is for empathizing. So empathizing with your own situation, and just in that situation where she's saying that she feels like she's responsible for the weight of the family, or her decisions affect the family. So and while that's very true, so can you empathize with yourself? You know, sometimes so I'll just give you a quick example. And all my examples I took out of my book, so if you want to get the book. But one quick example is my mom. My mom offended me quite a bit as I was growing up. So she did a bunch of different things, my feelings, and I just couldn't understand why. So one day, I remember sitting down and just talking to her, asking her what her story is, you know, how or whatever. And after she got done telling me her whole entire story, and hearing things for the first time as an adult that I had never heard before growing up, it made me see her in a completely different light, and therefore treat her differently. When we have made past mistakes, you need to try your best to objectively look at the mistake. Who were you? Lost that money, or at the time that you invested poorly, or at the time that you you know, didn't pay your bill or ignored your bill collectors or whatever. Who were you at that time, and what was going on in your life? So being able to somehow objectively look at the situation and will assist you in helping you to forgive yourself. I know I made a lot of mistakes and choices when
And so when I think back of all the, you know, and for a long time I kicked myself and I was just frustrated and I can't believe I did this and I can't believe I did this with our money and that with the money and now we have nothing to show for it or whatever for a long time. But at a certain point, probably this is about 5 years ago, finally I came to myself and said, you know what, there is nothing I can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was that person then and I am not that girl anymore. So I am so much more wiser and better for it. And now I can move forward.
I think what's really important here with this empathize with yourself, like we're usually so used to empathizing with others and kind of worrying about what other people are going through or, you know, what motivated someone else to do something. But I like how you talk about how you have to empathize with yourself and look at your own situation.
Yeah, I mean, it's critical, especially when you talk about forgiving yourself. Because you need to be able to, you know, have that little part of compassion so that you can move forward and forgive. You need to have that. And so the next one is attention. And so I know recently I saw one of Tiffany's blogs and it just reminded me of the thing, like her blog was about finding ways to pay off debt faster. And so kind of like a debt snowball. So just, you know, stuff out there and, you know, doing different things in your spare time to make money so that you can pay off your debt. And I remember scrolling down, looking at the bottom and, you know, it says add your comments. And so one of the things I said was a lot of times I have stayed stuck financially because I just refuse to look at things. I just refuse to give attention to my bills and attention to my bill collectors just because I felt not empowered to do anything about it. So I would ignore it. Y'all know if you ignore it, it doesn't make the problem go away. It usually just makes it get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of the acronym in A is turning attention, giving attention to those, not just to your bills and your bill collectors and things that you have to do, but turn your attention inward. Why are you? I had to really think, like, why do I keep ignoring this bill or that bill? Or why do I keep ignoring? Is it because I don't feel powerful? Because I don't feel like I have the tools? Because you can talk to anybody. Bill collectors call all the time. You can have a conversation. You know, you can work some stuff out. Mm-hmm. But I think we feel unempowered to do anything about it. And that's why I think I love Tiffany and I love the dream builders and the dream catchers, because it's making me feel like I really do have power. Mm-hmm. I can really change something, even if it's little, even if it's the littlest bill, I can do something about it.
Right.
I can't say I've always felt that way.
Right. I mean, knowledge is power. That's another reason. You're right. That's why I love the Academy, because it's like I made a mistake. Whatever happened, my credit score went down, or I made a bad decision financially. But it's like I know I have the power to recover because I have the tools, and they're right here in the Academy. Tiffany talks to us about them every day, and so we're good to go. We're in a good position.
Yeah. So the next one is C, and it's talking about cleansing. And so, you know, whenever you're talking about healing or forgiving someone or forgiving yourself, that's the ability to cleanse. And so I'm so like biblically based. Sometimes I try to like keep it neutral or whatever, but you know, the Bible talks about washing by the water of the word. And so washing is like a cleansing mechanism. And so whatever it is, whatever your method is, but how do you wash your mind or wash your brain? And so for me, I use the word. You know, what does the word say? And I apply it to my life. And that helps me wash out the bad, the mindset of I'm not enough, or the mindset of I don't have power, or the mindset of I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough resources. Because the truth is, those are all lies. That really is the truth. The truth is you do have power. You do have knowledge. You do have that. But so whatever your mechanism is, there needs to be a cleansing piece to you. And how do you change your, because it starts in the mind. If you can think it, you can do it. So the thought has to be there first. And how do you get that thought in there? So it's kind of like a washing. You need to wash out your old ways of thinking, your old mentality. And you need to interject in some new life. And that's why I love the group too, because it interjects new life into me. Oh, shoot. Oh, I really can. Oh, I can drive for Uber. Like, I never would have thought about driving for Uber, but I did.
Honestly,
and that was because of Tiffany.
I can't tell you how many times that I'll go in the group and a single mom will say something about, like, because I'm not a mom yet. I'm claiming it.
Hey.
A single mom will say something like, I don't know how I'm going to make Christmas happen. And you could tell that she's kind of like, doesn't want to accept what she's accepted before, that this thing is true. And then all these other single moms will flood in and say, girl, been there, done that. Oh, you 25? Let me tell you what, you should, I'm 35. My kids are older. And so because you put it out there and ask the question, now all of a sudden, and you allow yourself to be open to solutions, you have people who've been there, done that. That's why the community part is so important, because, you know, what is true for you is not necessarily what's just generally true. You've decided that, and if you could see something different, you could do something different. That's why the community piece is so important. And I just love that piece about, like, you know, there are other alternatives out there. And if you ask the question, there's a different way of being and seeing. And it doesn't have to be true that you don't have. It doesn't have to be true that you struggle. It doesn't have to be true. There are other people who have been there and who are someplace else. How did they get there? And we share that.
Let me read just a few of the comments, because I don't want to ignore our folks who are commenting. We have Kimberly, and I guess she's talking about maybe bills or things that she's been ignoring. She says, dealing with them now because I was ignoring them because of shame and lack of having the empowerment. We have April Jones. She says, there has been so many times I would avoid the answer, a bill collector, thinking you will get it when I got it to give to you. And not take a step to resolve it. So we've all been there. We've all experienced it, whether it's in the past or whether it's now.
Yeah, and the point is that, you know, and obviously forgiveness is not just like, okay, so I'm running a race and I reach the deadline, there, I'm done. So forgiveness is not that way. It's a process. It's not a driveway, windy road. And sometimes you go back and you'll make those same mistakes over and over again. But the point is that you can get back up again. You don't have to beat yourself up for making the same mistake. Sometimes we have our favorite mistakes that we make, and we might have to make that same mistake 40 times before we finally go, okay, you know what? I don't have to do that. I don't have to make that choice. You need to incorporate the thought or the mindset that comes up when you do get ready to ignore that bill collector, or you do get ready to spend more money than what you have or than what you intended. Thought that kind of captures you or arrests you in some way and makes you make a different choice. And that's part of forgiving you. And then the last one is humility. And so with humility comes humility is sometimes that's one of those words that people tend to sometimes get stuck on as a word that means weak, or it means not empowered. But really, humility is really, if you want to think about it, as strength under control. So I have the power to do something, but I'm gonna tap into something else so I can have a greater good. So humbling yourself, knowing that I don't know everything. So here's a perfect example. I'm old, okay? And Tiffany, I always call her just in my circle, she's my chocolate baby doll. And I always am like,
I'll take it. Hey.
And so always in my circle, I'm like, that little chocolate baby doll, she will help you get your life. And And I'm always telling all my friends and family, I'm like, you need to get with her because, and you're so much younger than me, but it just because I'm older than you doesn't mean to say that I know everything. I've made a gazillion mistakes, but now answers that I hadn't thought about. And so that takes something to really humble ourselves though, and be able to receive from somebody that doesn't look like you, maybe is not the same age as you, in your circle, those things. And so, and I know that's hard because especially if you're a single mother or if you're just a single woman on your own in general, and you fight a fight every day, and that fight makes you, a certain strength. And so part of your strength sometimes is this wall that I got this, I can do it myself. I don't need anybody else. But the truth is we do. We need everyone. We need our sisters. We do. And that's the point of this group, I think, is that we need the community.
Dolores is speaking just to that. Dolores Dotson says, I think the spirit of sisterhood that our group offers is just as powerful as the knowledge about finances we gain.
Yeah.
Can you reread that? I'm sorry, it cut up a little.
Yeah, Dolores Dotson, she says, I think the spirit of sisterhood that our group offers is just as powerful as the knowledge about finances that we gain.
Yep.
It really is, because without each other, where are you going? We need each other. We really do. And because you'll come up with something, or you'll say something that maybe I had never thought of before. But if I'm so prideful and I'm so big and bad all to myself and not willing to accept your words, I won't get what I won't get what I need. And I think a lot of times we miss opportunities that way, for being so strong, for lack of a better word, because we're not always so prideful, but sometimes we're just so strong that we feel like I got this or whatever, and we get embarrassed to have to say, well, what does it mean to invest? Or, where do I look up the information on how to pull my credit report? And sometimes we feel like we should know all that already. A lot of times based on our age, because I'm this age, by now, I should know where to find my credit report and how to invest and how to do different things. And so we'll build up this thing that makes us not be able to receive from our sisters because of a lack of humility, for lack of a better word. And so those are the points that I really wanted to stress, as far as forgiving yourself is concerned. The REACH acronym, because you really can reach your goals. I mean, Lord knows I am a living witness. I was a hot mess when I joined the group, and I'm not perfect now, but every day, steps. And one thing I shared on one of the blogs somewhere, I put, baby steps do eventually become adult steps.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You will eventually, if you keep, and baby steps, they fall, they stumble, they turn around, they start crawling again, they revert back. But after a while, they will eventually become adult steps. And I think you do have somewhere to go in yourself.
Saricha says, it's never too late to learn the steps necessary to make it. And that's just what's amazing about the Academy. We're such a community. There's always something to learn. Every time you log on, every time you take a class, there's always something you can refer to, something you can go back to. Like you said, if you make the same mistake over again, well, you know where to find it, how to get back on track. Like, you know where it's at. It's like, you know where it's at because you learned it the last time, right?
And what I love about the Dream Builders is that the classes are there. So I may not be ready because right now I know that the challenge is running or almost over about net worth and building your net worth. And at the time that the challenge came up, I was like, Tiff, I am not. I'm still trying to work on the credit one. I am not ready. But what I love.
Go ahead.
But what I love is that it's sitting there. It's waiting on me. Like I can join at any time, and that's the part that I swear that's my heart right there. The fact that I can always go back, you can always get back up again. You can always have another opportunity to join the group or whatever, and join the Dream Builders and get those classes that you need when you're ready, when you're there. I love about that.
Danielle Sacco, she says, this is cute. I like the fact that the men in this group feel open enough to make the comments they do, especially since the majority of the group is female. So yeah, we do dominate, but we have our men and they're on it.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I could say a whole lot about that. So
Well, we try to keep like
I'm very all good. I have three black sons, and everything that I learned in the group, everything that I've gotten, all the tips and everything, I pass right along to those three black sons, because I need those black sons to be black men, and I need them to be strong and be who they are, without having to worry about finances and getting their lives together. I'm trying to get my life together so that they don't have to struggle so hard with finance, so that they can see, okay, wait a minute, this is the way you do this. This is how you do it. And this is where I can get help. You know, so I'm glad for the men to join. I know Tiffany's mission, and I know it's to the brown girls, and I love her for that. I really do. But yeah, I'm gonna slide in there too with the yellow skin.
Get on in there.
Everybody, we don't turn anyone away. That's just the truth. It's just that I know that we have been left out of the financial conversation for so long. And so it's the reason why I make sure that we come first in this, because we come last every place else. So, but everyone is welcome. This is definitely not a place that we have a lot of men, and somebody will always post, are there any men here? And like 50 or 60 men will be like, I'm here. I'm in here learning, or my wife brought me in here, or I just came in on my own and I'm learning and I'm doing better. But I just want to make sure that women in particular, not even just black women, or just women in particular, because we make about 70% of the choices in the home, of the financial choices, that women in particular feel welcomed, and that they know this is like, we're sister girls here. Whether you are yellow sister girl, whether you're brown chocolate, whatever, if you're a sister girl, then you're welcome here.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that about you.
We have so many comments. Wow. Crystal Curry says, a single mother who is rebuilding after a year of unemployment and bad relationship, trying to forgive myself, but struggling. So we all have a story. We're all in here trying to accomplish something. We all have something that, we want to make better. So.
Yeah. And one of the prevailing thoughts that I use all the time is, I always say to myself, there is nothing you can do about what you don't have. There's nothing you can do with it. I can't do anything with the money that I lost. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing I can do about the relationship that I lost or don't have. There's nothing I can do. So I can't spend my time spinning my wheels about what I should have done, coulda, woulda, and shoulda. I can't spend my life like that. So what I have to do is I have to look forward. Okay, I don't have that thing. I don't have that person. I don't have that money. But what do I have? What now?
And what's next for me?
And so you use what is in your hand. Use what you have. And you should be able to go forward.
Hirm9 says, this group is showing me that it is not ridiculous for me to strive to own at 62 young, divorced, and working on my credit.
It's never too late. I just talked to a realtor the other day, and I asked her the same question, does it even make sense for me to buy a house at this age? And she goes, house to somebody who was 71, and that was the first house that she ever bought, and that's what she wanted, and it made sense for her. And so she said, what in the world are you thinking about? And I said, well, I don't know. I didn't know like what makes sense, but it's so good to hear. If I had been closed off, I wouldn't have heard that story. You know what I mean? And our stories encourage. Tiffany's story encouraged me, because even with her background, her financial background, even with to save the money, like when she was young and she was working as a school teacher, and then lost it all. And now has regained it tenfold, 100-fold.
Mm-hmm.
That's encouraging. If that doesn't encourage you, because that just lets you see that not to, you don't want to, it doesn't feel good, but I bet you she'll never make those same mistakes again.
Mm-hmm. And I might, and that's okay.
Can hear. What did you say?
I said I might, but okay. And then, but I know the solutions.
Yeah, that part. Yeah,
Right.
At least you know how to come out of it. Yeah. Because if you did it once, you can do it again. If you got out of it, if you got out of anything once, you can do it again.
That's the lesson.
Once, you can do it again. You can.
Latoya Cottrell says, as women, we have been socialized to be independent, and it takes humility to be open.
Mm-hmm.
It does. And that's what I'm saying, like that independence, especially, that's why I say I'm like as a single mother, I've been a single mother for probably the last 6 or 7 years. And there's this certain strength that you have to develop, because now you don't have anybody to bounce, ideas off of or decisions off of. And as a parent alone, you second guess every decision you make, generally about your kids. And is this the right thing? Should I have done this? And depend upon whatever the outcome is, you even further second guess yourself. And so then as a single person, a single mother, you tend to, you just develop this strength, this hardness almost to you, because you're having to be the man and the woman at the same time. You're having to think logically and still nurture and go back and forth. And it's a hard place. It is. And if you're not careful, and that's my point, if you're not careful, you'll build up this wall to where nobody can tell you anything. And that part is dangerous, because then you're slow to humble yourself at that point. You're slow to think, I don't know everything. Somebody please help me. And you're slow to ask.
Let's see. Soft touch braiding. She says, or he, this is huge for me because I always felt bad for not having a home for my son to grow up in, and he is almost 14 now. I wasn't taught anything about money, but I've always made money and didn't save, though. All of us, girl.
Right. Right. Yeah. That part. Yeah. And then that's the thing too, because then your kids, you see that your kids want stuff or they need stuff, or you see what you would want to have for them. And because you don't have it financially, you kind of put yourself down, and you continue to put yourself down. But doing that will not allow you to grow. You have to, at that point, forgive yourself for whatever it is. And this is the thing, like I hear a lot, when I counsel a lot of different women, and I hear a lot of, especially mothers, single and married, where they'll say like say their kids are like 8 and 6 or something like that. And they'll say, well, I really want them to go to summer camp, or what happens if, I can't put them through summer camp, or I can't put them through in their special classes, or, different activities that they want to do. And I always say to them, what do you remember when you were 4? What do you remember about 6? You're projecting on them. Babies aren't going to die if they don't get to summer camp. It's not going to happen. I promise they're not going to be, terrible people if they don't get to, whatever their special ice skating classes or whatever. They won't. But you will be so much better if you can make a sound financial decision and save that money and do something different with them. Something free. And then continue to let that money grow and move on. But we get stuck in certain expectations or things that we would like for our children and for our loved ones. And we think that we cannot get out, or that we cannot provide. And it just simply isn't true. And without forgiving ourselves and forgiving even the ones that put those expectations on us. Sometimes we grow up with those things. We grow up with, people expecting us to live at a certain level. And then when we don't live at that certain level, not only do we feel bad about our own selves, but then we start to resent them for putting those expectations on us to begin with. But you know, I love a challenge and I love a goal. Now, didn't always, but I love a goal.
Andrea is on here preaching, dream builders. Are y'all receiving this information? Dr. J.E. Lawton says, that's what I appreciate most about LRA. Tried to get with the net worth challenge, but had to be real with myself and said, you are not ready for that, girl. Go get that budget together first.
I'm for real. And I just passed that budget out to some girls at work, and they were like, oh my God, Drea, this is so good. And I was like, girl, if you think that's good, you need to go ahead and get on that dream catchers because they got all kinds of information. But Tiffany at one point provided it was a spreadsheet in the savings edition, I think, for just setting up just a basic budget. And I mean, that thing has been my life for the last year and a half. I live for it. But it is also one of the things that had to take a hold in me is one time I heard Tiffany say, she said, people often think about a budget as what you can't have. Mm-hmm. And she said, but what we should do, she said, I look to my budget as what I can have. How much money do I have to spend? Oh, it's only $5. Okay, cool. I got $5 to spend. Oh, it's only, $50. I got $50 to spend. It's not about what you can't have. It's the budget will show you what you can have, what you can do. And I mean, just that thought has made me not ignore the budget anymore. Because now I'm like, oh, wait a minute, let me see. What can I have? How much can I spend? Where can I go? Oh, I can only go around the corner? Okay, well, whatever, I can go around the corner.
Right. It's like, look for the good. Look for the good. Don't worry about the bad.
It's the mental shift. What can I do? So we always want to look at the negative. This is what's going to tell you what you can't do. No, but if you change that, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the cleansing. You're washing your mind, the cleansing. So and now I have a phrase. Oh, wait a minute. That's not to tell me what I can't do. That's to tell me what I can do. Let me check this thing and see what I can do.
Devis,
you need that part.
Absolutely. Devis RN said, I needed to hear this tonight. Forgiving yourself does not come easy. It is such a process. And that's true. It's a never-ending process. We're always gonna possibly make a mistake. It's just how are we gonna recover from that?
And that it is like so I always tell people I'm not interested in a Band-Aid. I'm not interested in like a fake healing. I'm interested in being healed. I'm not interested in looking rich. I want to be rich. You know what I mean? I don't want the fake part of it. And in order for it to be real, I need to be real with myself and forgive myself and forgive others. But the forgiveness has to be real. It can't be some fake stuff. And so, which means that I said all that to say, it's not a quick road. It's not a driveway. It's not instant. But over time, like if you're trying to lose weight, you're not going to lose, 30 pounds overnight. Okay. Instantly over time, tell yourself the words that you need to hear, the mindset, the shift, the script, flip the script, rewrite the script in your mind. If you consistently though rehearse those things, then over time you'll see healing, you'll see change, you'll see deliverance in those things. So it's not a quick road, but I promise it's true, and it'll be what's honest and what's the most healing and beneficial for you and those around you.
Love it. I think the relationship between kind of financial mistakes and age is really kind of touching folks. Rosalind Lash says, I am so glad that someone addressed the age concern. I am 56. I don't have financial struggles, but I'm newly self-employed. I beat myself up for the late start. Yeah.
And that's like the number one thing, especially as you get older in the 40s and the 50s. And in the 60s, you start to say, why didn't I do this, 20 years ago? How come I didn't make this change 15 years ago? Where was this information? How come nobody told me about this stuff? And we start to, you're rehearsing. So you're rehearsing something that you can't do anything about. You cannot get 10, 15, 25 years back. All you can do is what you have today.
Oh, hold on. You just said something. I'm like, whoo. Like you said, you're rehearsing for something you can't get back. That was a word. I don't know if you caught the word, but like, how many times do we do that? I know I do. I'm like, oh, because I would have said and what I could have said. I'm literally rehearsing for the past. Girl, what you doing? And I do that all the time. I'm like, oh my, I'm going to write that somewhere because I was like over here doing other work. I'm like, Logan got this. She's doing great. I said, hold up. That was seriously a word. You were rehearsing for something that you literally can't get back. That happened 2 years ago, and you're still practicing for that thing right now. You can't even do nothing about it. Thank you for that. Okay, go ahead, girl. I just have to, whoo.
And I got one further. I even do that. Forget financial mistakes. I'll do that with an argument. Like, I should have said this. I should have said that.
Ooh, that was good.
Let it go. Let it go.
Make you want to call them back and say, wait a minute, let me add these 5 points.
Yes. Bullet points. I got them. All right. So let's just go back over. So we got the acronym. We got the R, release it. E, empathize. A is attention. C is cleansing. And H is humility. Yeah. What a lesson tonight. But we want to get to some more good stuff because, as Drea mentioned, she does have a book. And the name of your book, Drea, is You 2.0.
That's right. Your 3-step guide to living life like it's golden.
Love it. So now, okay, so Tiffany didn't even have to do any of her usual wrangling because Drea is a dream builder. So we have a discount. So Tiffany didn't even have to do all that she normally has to do because she already knows she's a dream builder. So
I was like 5 days earlier. I'm like, hold on. I know I got to give the dream builders a discount. Let me figure out what I can do.
Yes. So original price is somewhere around $11. So she didn't take off $1. She didn't take off $2. She didn't take off $3. She took off $4. So the dream builder price for You 2.0 is $7. And we'll put the link in. I'll put the link in the comments for you, and it'll also be on the Facebook side. And then
inside the academy, correct?
Yes, inside the academy. And Drea, what are your social media handles so that we have them? The dream builders can get in touch with you.
Yeah. So on Facebook, I'm just Drea Bogan. I also have a Facebook group called Honey's House. And so Honey's House is really my handle. So on Instagram, it's at Honey's House or Honeys_house. On Twitter, it's at Honeys_house. And so the Honey's House is a quick story if you have time. It's real quick. So do you have time?
Absolutely. I was wondering how you got that honeybee. I meant to mention it. Sorry.
So the Honey's House is, I used to substitute teach in elementary schools. And I just loved teaching the kindergartners or whatever. So I had this one long-term assignment that I was there all the time. And this one little girl, she looked beautiful every day. But this one day she comes in and I mean, her hair was all done up, all beautiful, had like these little bows and barrettes, everything matching, coordinated with her outfit. And so she came in and I mean, she was just beaming. And so that day I said, Olivia, who did your hair? And she just looked at me and she goes, my honey did it. And I said, your honey? Well, who's your honey? She goes, my grandma. And right then I was like, oh, I got to be a honey.
So you're that honey in everyone's life, making that impact. We love it.
I got to be a honey. I got to be a honey. So that's where the Honey's House came from. Yeah. Because I feel like a grandma, even though I'm not one. And so I'm always telling people something and,
But Drea, before we switch over, I want you to tell us more about your book because we got so much life from this. And I'm like, I feel like we just casually talked about your book, but like, so what are we going to get from your book that's in addition to what we just got now?
So I go over 3 steps. And so, and I was hesitant to call it a 3-step guide because life isn't like that. It's not 3 steps. It's not do this, do that, and you're done. And so, but I, for lack of, being able to capture it when you're writing, I That's what I called it. And so what the book delves more into loving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's with the idea of being able to reinvent yourself. Like, just because you were, a procrastinator for the last 15 years of your life doesn't mean that you have to continue to be a procrastinator. You are able to reinvent yourself. And so how do we do that? Because people are always talking about, reinvent yourself or you 2.0. There's like a tons of books called you 2.0. But people are always talking about you 2.0, but how? What and what way? And so the book talks about loving yourself, forgiving yourself, and forgiving others. And it really delves more into those things and it's an easy read. I purposely wrote it actually for younger, because I mentor a lot of young adults, like I want to say 17 to 25, through work and in different places. And so I created that for them. It's an easier read with like notes that they can write notes and, questions that they can ask themselves and come back and answer and things like that. And so it really is designed to be kind of like an interactive workbook. But it's small, that you can carry it around in your purse. This is one of them.
Yeah, let's see it. I'd love to see it.
Oh, can you see?
Say like, girl, you got. Can I see it? Hold on.
And no, those are not my lips.
I love it. But I think that I love that reset. So yeah, I'm posting the link again, and it will be inside the Academy. And so normally it's $11.10 to be clear. But with our special Dreamcatcher link, like if you were go to Amazon and just type in her name, you'll see the real price. But she gave us a special Dream Builder. I'm sorry, not Catcher, Dream Builder link, and it makes it $7, which is like dope. I'm just actually on Amazon right now. I see your all 5-star reviews. That's what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. And so, yes, that's awesome. And I'm going to post this link again, but it'll also, like I say, be inside the Academy, and also be pinned to the top of the Facebook group if you're watching live.
Yeah, and I have to say, I can't let this thing end without me saying, there's no way I would have written that book without you, Tiffany.
Oh.
No, I mean, that's the God's honest truth. I hadn't thought about a book. I wasn't thinking. I mean, I've always been a writer, and I've always had journals and things like that my whole life, but I never really thought about self-publishing. I had no clue. And when I took your first challenge, the savings edition, when I took that first challenge, and it talked about multiple streams of income and what can you do or what do you do, is really where the idea of the book came from. And it would not have come or happened or whatever. And then I started looking you up on YouTube and different things where you were talking about self-publishing, which I was clueless about and never would have thought to do or any of those things, but you're it. So thank you.
No, thank you. We got to put magic out.
And let's end with that. I mean, be inspired. You never know what's next for you and what you can accomplish. So we're gonna go over to the other side now. We're gonna go over to the Dream Builder Facebook side. So #AskTheExpert, and just let Drea know how thankful you are, how powerful this chat was today, how you enjoyed the lesson, and whatever gems you took and whatever questions you have. And we will be over on the other side.
So it's Andrea Bogan. You're going to @ her, right? Right? That's your name on Facebook.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And if you're watching live, I'm literally about to click, and the replay for this video and notes from this video are going to be pinned to the top of the group page. It should be there. This is for those of you watching live. So, we do this every time. Sometimes we have newbies that they don't know how we get down, but this is how we get down. Not only do you get them now, then you get them in the group. It's just good.
Oh, I have to say my favorite, Tiffany, is when you're I love your tip. Oh my God. I've taken so many of your things that you say. And so one of the main things I always take is I always go, ew.
I was like, did I say that? I don't even know. Because when you're yourself, you don't even realize, because my sister will be like, because I'm always like woo woo, or like insert body roll or happy dance, and I won't realize because it's just like me, or maybe I've taken that from one of my friends or one of my sisters. And so, yeah, that's funny.
That's my favorite when you're like, ew. And then the other one is when you go, girl, I'm going to show you how to get your edges. Okay, not just your life. You're going to get your edges. You're going to snatch your edges.
All of it.
Yeah. So we will see you guys inside the Facebook group if you're watching live. And even if you aren't watching live, you can always go to the Facebook group because we try to make sure that all of our experts, I think like literally all of them except maybe one or two, are members inside the group. So you can tag them even years later and connect with them. And so, yeah, leave your comments for Drea, tag her, and use the hashtag #AskTheExpert. No S, just #AskTheExpert. See y'all.
Bye.
And can we just say how awesome Logan was, right? I was over here doing my work in the background, just poking my head up every few minutes.
I'm trying. Y'all ain't run me away yet, so.
You're doing more than trying. You're doing a great job, Logan. And so
Awesome.
you're going to
All right.
you'll see more, hopefully more of Logan's beautiful face.
See y'all.